Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered, could it actually make you rich? Imagine this: you're counting your change from the grocery store, and among the quarters and dimes, there's a nickel that could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, a single, unassuming Jefferson nickel, minted in 1964, with no mint mark. Some collectors call it the Holy Grail of modern coins, and the top examples have recently sold for as much as $966,000. Now, let that sink in. One coin, overlooked for decades, sitting in a jar or under your couch cushions, could change your life. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why this nickel is so extraordinary, how to spot one, and why some examples have collectors scrambling like treasure hunters in a storm. Meet Tom, a retired schoolteacher from Ohio. He had a modest coin collection he inherited from his father, mostly common coins he'd long forgotten. One rainy afternoon, Tom decided to sort through his collection. He picked up a worn nickel, flipped it over, and froze. There was no mint mark. Something about it didn't look right. A quick online search confirmed his heart-stopping suspicion. He held a 1964 no mint mark Jefferson nickel, a coin considered one of the rarest U.S. modern coins. Suddenly, Tom wasn't just holding a coin, he was holding the key to his financial freedom. So, what makes this coin so valuable? First, a little history. In 1964, Jefferson nickels were minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Typically, coins from Denver and San Francisco carry a D or S mint mark. But the Philadelphia Mint, for reasons still debated by numismatists, released a small batch of nickels that had no mint mark at all. These no mint mark coins are extremely rare, almost like a whispered secret among collectors. And here's where it gets even more interesting: only a few thousand are thought to exist, but rarity alone isn't enough to turn a coin into a fortune. The 1964 no mint mark nickel must also meet strict conditions. Collectors hunt for coins in brilliant uncirculated condition, with perfect strikes, sharp details, and no scratches. Even circulated examples, those that have been handled and spent, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And if a coin is graded at the very top of the scale by professional grading services, that's when we enter the six-figure territory, with the rarest examples reaching close to $1 million. Here's a question: how do you identify one? Look closely at the obverse, the front, of the nickel. Jefferson's profile is crisp and clear. Then check for a mint mark under the date. If there's none, you may have something extraordinary. But don't stop there. Examine the coin for die errors, doubling, or unusual strikes. These tiny anomalies can push a coin's value through the roof. What most people don't know is that some subtle imperfections actually make these coins even more desirable to top collectors. It's almost like the imperfections prove the coin's authenticity and rarity, and the prices. They vary wildly depending on condition. A well-worn circulated example might bring $200 to $500. A coin in excellent condition, $5,000 to $50,000. But the true masterpieces, pristine coins graded at the very top, have sold for hundreds of thousands, and again, the current top market value is a staggering $966,000. That's not a typo. One nickel, one chance, could secure a family's financial future for generations. Here's the twist. Many people dismiss old nickels as worthless change. They're spent on coffee, forgotten in jars, or tossed aside. But that's exactly why so many of these no-mint marked 1964 nickels have survived, unseen, undervalued, and waiting for the sharp-eyed collector to recognize them. The question is, could one be sitting in your pocket right now? Let's pause for a second. Imagine the freedom. Imagine being able to pay off debts, travel, or invest in your family's future, all from a coin you didn't even realize was valuable. That's the power of rare coin collecting. But it also comes with urgency. Every day that passes, someone else might discover a hidden treasure in their own collection. And once a coin like this hits the market, prices only climb higher. Now, I don't want you to panic, but I do want you to act. Check your coin jars, your drawers, even the old piggy banks gathering dust. Look for Jefferson nickels, check the mint mark, and consider the condition. A single careful examination could reveal a piece of history, and potentially a fortune, and here's the part that shocks collectors. Even seasoned numismatists sometimes miss subtle variations that double or triple a coin's value. It's why the 1964 no-mint marked nickel is not just a coin, it's a puzzle, a mystery, and a financial opportunity all rolled into one small piece of metal. So, what should you do next? Take a deep breath, handle your coins carefully, and start looking. Take note of every nickel from 1964. Compare them to reference guides. If you suspect you've found a no-mint mark specimen, have it professionally graded. Don't wait. Because in the world of rare coins, hesitation can cost you thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Tom's story didn't end with discovery. He had his coin authenticated and sold it for a life-changing sum. Today, he travels, enjoys his retirement, and knows he's financially secure, all because he paid attention to a small, overlooked coin. And here's the real truth. Someone watching this video could be holding the next life-changing nickel right now. So, don't just scroll past your change. Don't ignore the jars, drawers, or old collections gathering dust. One 1964 no-mint marked Jefferson nickel could be the key to the Imagine this, a simple Jefferson nickel, minted in the year 2000, sitting quietly in your pocket or a drawer. Suddenly, it's worth almost $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. One coin, one moment, could secure your financial future and transform your life forever. But most people never check, and most will miss out. Let me tell you a story. There was a retired schoolteacher named Linda. One lazy Sunday morning, she decided to roll up some old coins from her change jar. Nothing extraordinary, just pennies and nickels from her pocket change over the years. But then, her eyes widened. Among them was a 2000 P. Jefferson nickel, but something was off. No mint mark where it should have been. Just blank. Linda had stumbled upon what collectors call the 2000 P mint mark nickel error. And here's where it gets even more interesting. This wasn't just a small curiosity. This coin, in the right condition, could fetch anywhere from $1,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, the top examples on the market have sold for up to $912,000. That's not a typo. $912,000 for a nickel you might have spent on a cup of coffee yesterday. So, what makes this coin so extraordinary? The secret lies in a tiny imperfection, or rather, an absence. The P mint mark was accidentally omitted during the minting process. Most nickels proudly show the P for Philadelphia, but these rare examples show nothing. This small omission creates a massive rarity. Add a perfect strike in flawless condition, and suddenly, you're holding a coin that collectors fight over fiercely, but it's not just about the missing mint mark. Experts look at every detail, the depth of the strike, the edges, even microscopic errors that most people would never notice. Coins in circulated condition might still fetch a few $1,000s, but once you reach high-grade uncirculated levels, the prices skyrocket. One perfectly preserved 2000p mint mark nickel can sell for 6 figures, and the record is creeping toward nearly $1 million. Now, here's the part that shocks collectors. Most people have these coins in their wallets or jars right now and don't even realize it. That spare change you're about to drop at the store could be worth more than your monthly mortgage. The fear of missing out here is real. Imagine discovering this too late, selling it for a few cents, or worse, losing it entirely, and yet, many people still underestimate the power of rarity. Take Mark, a construction worker from Ohio. He was cleaning out his attic when he found a nickel that didn't look right. He took it to a local coin dealer, and after careful grading, it turned out to be a 2000p mint mark error. The coin wasn't just valuable, it was life-changing. Mark used the proceeds to pay off debts, invest in his family's future, and even take his dream vacation. All from a single coin. So, how can you identify these rare nickels yourself? First, check for the P mint mark. If it's missing, you may be holding an error coin. Then, examine the strike. Sharp details and smooth edges increase value. Professional grading is key. Coins rated MS65 or higher are incredibly sought after. Even small imperfections can dramatically affect the market price, so condition matters more than age. The price range for these coins is staggering. Circulated examples might start at $1,000 to $5,000. Uncirculated coins can soar to $50,000, $100,000, even higher. And the rarest, museum-quality examples, approaching that shocking $912,000 mark. This is more than just a collectible, it's a financial opportunity. But here's a bold question: how many of these coins are sitting unnoticed in your home right now? How many could protect your family's future if you acted quickly? The truth is, opportunities like this don't come often. The moment you spend or overlook a rare nickel, you could be missing out on a lifetime of wealth, and yes, the mystery of the 2000p mint mark nickel only adds to its allure. Collectors are obsessed with the why behind these errors. Was it a mechanical mishap at the mint? A human oversight? Or simply chance? Every coin has a story, and each story drives demand, pushing prices ever higher. So, what should you do next? Check your drawers, jars, and old coin rolls. Examine every 2000 Jefferson nickel carefully. Look for missing mint marks, sharp strikes, and pristine surfaces. Even one discovery could be life-changing. Remember Linda and Mark, ordinary people who turned ordinary coins into extraordinary wealth. Don't wait until it's too late. The market is competitive, and the best coins move fast. The rare 2000p mint mark nickel isn't just a piece of metal, it's security, freedom, and a potential legacy. This could be the moment that changes everything, and here's the cliffhanger that keeps collectors coming back. You've just learned about one coin, but there are countless other rare errors hiding in plain sight, each with the potential to reshape your financial life. If this one story sparked your curiosity, imagine what you could find next. Check your coins. Examine every jar, every drawer, every forgotten change roll. Time is ticking, and the opportunity won't wait forever. One nickel, one moment, could be the key to your wealth, your security, your freedom. Don't let it slip away. But for a few Americans, that's not a dream, it's reality. And today, we're talking about one of the most shocking, sought-after coins in modern U.S. history, the 2007 Mint mark Jefferson nickel. Some rare examples have hit the market for nearly $900,000. Yes, you heard that right. $894,000. Now, before you shrug this off, think about this. What if the change jingling in your drawer holds your ticket to financial freedom? What if a coin you've ignored for years could secure your family's future, pay off debts, or even retire you early? You might already have one and not even know it. That's exactly what happened to John Miller, a retired schoolteacher from Ohio. John had been casually collecting coins for decades, mostly as a hobby, nothing serious. One afternoon, while sorting through a box of old nickels, he spotted a coin that looked off. The date said 2007, but the mint mark was missing, or at least, it didn't look right. Curiosity piqued, he decided to get it checked. That simple decision led him to discover a 2007 Mint mark Jefferson nickel with an incredibly rare error. Within weeks, the coin was valued at over $800,000, enough to completely transform his life. So, what makes the 2007 Mint mark Jefferson nickel so extraordinary? Most 2007 nickels are common and worth just 5 cents. But in some rare cases, errors during minting produced nickels with missing or doubled mint marks, unusual strikes, or other anomalies that make them instantly collectible. The errors are subtle, sometimes barely noticeable, which is why they slip under the radar of most casual collectors. Here's where it gets even more interesting. The most coveted examples are those that are in mint state condition, meaning they were never circulated. These coins have flawless surfaces, sharp strikes, and perfect luster. When a coin like this appears with a recognized error, collectors pay top dollar. The grading system, from MS-60 to MS-70, can make the difference between a coin worth a few $1,000s and one worth nearly $900,000. And let's be honest, there's something thrilling about owning a piece of history that most people overlook. A 2007 Mint mark nickel isn't just metal. It's a story frozen in time, a piece of the United States Mint's craftsmanship, and a chance at life-changing wealth. Imagine sitting down with friends or family and casually mentioning, "You know that nickel I found in my drawer? It's worth almost $1 million. That's not just bragging, it's freedom, but don't think every nickel is going to be your ticket. There's a reason these coins are so rare. Errors like the missing or doubled mint mark happened in extremely small quantities. The vast majority of 2007 nickels are completely ordinary. This scarcity is what drives the jaw-dropping prices. And what most people don't know is that even tiny imperfections or unique minting anomalies can skyrocket a coin's value if it catches the eye of the right collector. Here's the part that shocks collectors. One 2007 Mint mark nickel sold recently for $894,000 at auction. That's not a typo. Almost $900,000 for a 5-cent coin. And the crazy part? Many of these coins are still sitting unnoticed in people's drawers, jars, and old coin collections. You could literally be holding a fortune without realizing it. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if I have one? First, look at the mint mark. For the P mint mark nickel, it should have a small P near Jefferson's portrait. Then check the coin strike and condition. Is the lettering sharp? Is there a doubled image or a missing mark? These subtle details make all the difference. If you find something unusual, get it graded by a professional. The grading can dramatically affect the market value. Coins in pristine MS-70 condition are the holy grail, and here's a reality check. Even a circulated 2007 P nickel with a minor error can fetch thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. For most Americans, that's more than a year's salary for a few minutes of attention. It's the kind of opportunity that only comes once in a lifetime, but there's also a warning here. Many people spend their coins without even checking them, unknowingly tossing away potential fortunes. One missed nickel today could mean a lost opportunity for wealth tomorrow. Don't let that be you. Your spare change might be worth more than your next paycheck. The time to check your coins is now, before it's too late. So, what's the takeaway? The 2007 P mint mark Jefferson nickel is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of possibility, a doorway to financial security, and a rare chance to change your life. And whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who hasn't looked at coins in years, you owe it to yourself to examine your collection carefully. Every drawer, every jar, every dusty corner could be hiding a fortune. That if there's one lesson here, it's this: opportunity often comes disguised as something ordinary. What seems like a simple nickel could be a life-altering treasure. And for those who act quickly, who check their coins and recognize the value, the rewards can be monumental. Imagine the freedom of paying off your mortgage, funding your children's education, or traveling the world, all because you took a moment to look closely at your coins. Don't wait. Don't assume someone else will find your treasure first. Check your coins, explore the mysteries of the 2007 P mint mark Jefferson nickel, and see if you hold a piece of history that could secure your family's future. This isn't just a story, it's a wake-up call. And who knows? The next coin you pick up could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Curious to see more stories of rare coins that have turned ordinary people into instant millionaires? There's a whole world of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered, and every coin has a story to tell. So take action, stay vigilant, and never underestimate the power of your pocket change. Your fortune might be closer than you think. You won't believe this, but there's a nickel in the United States, yes, a small, ordinary nickel, that could completely change your financial life. Imagine holding a coin worth almost $900,000 in your hand, right now, sitting quietly in a jar of loose change, or maybe tucked away in a forgotten drawer. It sounds like a story from a movie, but for collectors, this is very real. And today, I'm going to reveal everything you need to know about the 2008 D mint mark Jefferson nickel, its shocking rarity, the errors that make it priceless, and why checking your coins could be the smartest financial decision you make this year. Meet Tom. Tom is just like you, a hardworking man, a family man, with no idea that the coins he's been tossing into his old coffee jar could hold a fortune. One rainy afternoon, he's cleaning out his attic when he spots a nickel that looks different. It doesn't scream wealth. It doesn't sparkle or shine. But something about it catches his eye. He takes it to a local coin dealer, and that moment changes everything. The dealer leans in, examines it under a magnifying glass, and says words Tom will never forget. You might be holding one of the rarest nickels in America. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This isn't just any nickel. It's the 2008 D. Jefferson nickel, and not just any mint mark version. It's the kind of coin that collectors dream about, and some examples have been valued at nearly $885,000. You heard that right, almost $900,000 for a coin that could be hiding in your pocket change.so. What makes this nickel so extraordinary? What makes it a coin that could literally protect your family's future and open doors to wealth you never imagined? First, let's talk history. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since 1938, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the back. But in 2008, something unusual happened at the Denver Mint. A tiny fraction of these coins were struck in a way that created significant errors, minting anomalies, or what collectors call rare varieties. These errors could be slight differences in the mint mark, double strikes, or even imperfections so subtle most people don't notice them at first glance, and this is the part that shocks collectors. These errors, combined with perfect condition, can make a coin not just collectible, but insanely valuable. While most 2008 D nickels are worth just a few cents, those rare error versions, especially ones graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and in the absolute rarest cases, approaching that staggering $885,000 mark. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if I have one of these rare coins? Here's the secret. Start by examining the mint mark. On a regular 2008 D nickel, the D will appear normal, clean, precise. On these rare coins, you might see doubling, missing letters, or slight misalignments. Next, look at the strike and the coin's condition. Coins with perfect luster, sharp edges, and no scratches are the ones that attract top-tier collectors. And professional grading is crucial. A coin could be worth $50 in a jar, but graded as MS 70 or PR 70, it could become a life-changing asset. But what about those truly extraordinary examples? These are the nickels that create legends in the coin community. A collector in Ohio once discovered a single 2008 D nickel in a roll of change. It had a mint error so rare, experts estimated its market value at over $850,000. That coin alone changed his life, and it could have been someone else's in a completely different pocket or drawer. Here's a question: how many coins do you pass by every day, thinking they're worthless? Pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters. What if just one of them is quietly sitting there, waiting to make you wealthy beyond your wildest dreams? That's the fear of missing out, and it's very real, but let's slow down for a moment. Not every 2008 D nickel is a jackpot. Most are ordinary, everyday coins. Circulated examples might only fetch $1 to $5, depending on condition. Higher-grade uncirculated coins can range from $20 to $500, but it's the rare error coins, professionally graded, that skyrocket into the tens of thousands and beyond. And this is why collectors are obsessed with checking every coin, examining every roll, and never taking a single nickel for granted. What most people don't know is that the rarity of these nickels comes from something as simple as human error at the mint, tiny mistakes, minor misprints, or even missing mint marks, that create scarcity. And scarcity equals value. In fact, Some of the top market examples have been sold in auctions for numbers most of us would never imagine seeing in a lifetime, and here's the kicker: these opportunities won't last forever. Coins in circulation are disappearing every day, hidden in collections, jars, and drawers, waiting for the next sharp-eyed collector to uncover them. The question is, will that collector be you, or someone else? Think about it. One coin could give you financial security, freedom, and peace of mind. It could change the trajectory of your family's future. It could let you breathe easier, take risks, and live life on your terms. And the best part? You don't need to invest millions, you just need to look at what you already have. So here's what I want you to do. Don't wait. Don't assume your old coins are worthless. Grab those jars, those drawers, those rolls of change and start checking every nickel, penny, and dime. Look for irregularities, mint marks, and shine. Take the time to educate yourself on rare coins. You could uncover something extraordinary. Something that transforms your life overnight, and remember this: every day that passes, someone else could be discovering the coin that could have been yours. That's the urgency. That's the thrill. And that's why collectors keep coming back, year after year, searching for these tiny pieces of history with enormous potential. So, take action. Inspect your coins. Learn the signs. Discover the rare 2008 Jefferson nickel that could be hiding in plain sight. And if you ever reach into your pocket and find something you thought was worthless, only to discover it could change your life. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for a lucky few, that dream has already come true, with something as small, ordinary, and overlooked as a 2021 mint marked Jefferson nickel. Most people toss nickels without a second thought, letting them clink across counters, get lost in jars, or vanish into couch cushions. But what if I told you that among those everyday coins lies a rare treasure, one that collectors are hunting for like hidden gold? And the most astonishing part? Some of these nickels have recently sold for as much as $422,000. Yes, almost $500,000, for a coin you probably pass by every day. Let me tell you a story. A man from Ohio, just a regular guy, spent years saving his spare change. One day, he was counting coins to roll for the bank, and something caught his eye. A 2021 Jefferson nickel, but it wasn't like the others. There was a subtle difference in its mint mark, so subtle that most people would never notice. When he had it appraised, the shock hit him. This tiny nickel was one of the rarest modern coins ever minted, and it was worth more than his car, more than his monthly salary, more than he had ever imagined. That moment, that heartbeat, changed everything for him. So, what makes this 2021 mint marked Jefferson nickel so extraordinary? What sets it apart from the billions of nickels minted each year? Here's where it gets fascinating. Most Jefferson nickels are perfectly ordinary. But in 2021, a small batch slipped through the mint with a unique combination of errors, tiny variations in the mint mark, subtle doubling, and striking differences in finish. These errors are not flaws, they're the golden ticket for collectors. And in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. It's the needle in a haystack effect, and these nickels are the needles. Now, let's talk about identifying them. If you're curious, or worried, you want to look at three main things: the mint mark, the strike quality, and the coin's condition. The mint mark D from Denver is key. On rare examples, it appears slightly misplaced or doubled. The strike, the clarity of Jefferson's profile and the Monticello on the back, can reveal an unusual die variation that dramatically boosts value. And condition, well, if your coin is pristine, graded high by professional services, that's when the numbers start to get shocking. Here's the part that really excites collectors. Circulated examples might fetch a few $100s, maybe a couple thousand if they're in above average condition. But a top grade, perfect example. That's when the price climbs to astronomical levels, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some have recently sold for over $400,000, setting records and leaving everyday coin owners staring at jars of nickels with a mixture of disbelief and hope. And here's a truth most people don't realize: this isn't just a story about money. This is about financial freedom, security, and legacy. That one coin, tucked away in a drawer, could fund a child's education, secure a retirement, or even create generational wealth. Imagine the relief of knowing that a simple discovery could change the trajectory of your family's future. That's the kind of power these rare coins hold, but beware, the opportunity won't last forever. Every day, unsuspecting nickels leave homes, get spent, or melted down. Every jar of coins is a ticking clock. If you have a collection, even small change hiding in drawers, boxes, or old wallets, it's time to check. Carefully. Thoroughly. Because among them could be your life-changing nickel. Collectors are also drawn by the mystery. Nobody knows exactly how many of these rare 2021D nickels exist. The mint doesn't publicize every error, and that uncertainty fuels demand, driving prices higher. Auctions can turn ordinary coins into fortune makers overnight. And the thrill, the anticipation, the possibility that you could be holding a treasure others would pay hundreds of thousands to acquire, it's addictive. But here's the catch: identifying these coins isn't always easy. You need patience, a keen eye, and sometimes professional grading. Mistakes happen, and every misstep could mean leaving a fortune in someone else's hands. This is why collectors approach these coins with the seriousness of a hunt for gold. Every subtle mark matters. Every detail counts, and let's pause for a second. Imagine the scene. You open a dusty old coin jar, sift through the jingling nickels, and there it is, a coin that seems ordinary, yet radiates rarity the moment you hold it. Your heart races. Your mind spins. You found something that could change your life. That feeling, it's what every collector dreams of. So, what should you do right now? Start by examining your coins. Look at those nickels, especially 2021D mint marks. Compare them to reference images online. Check for unusual mint marks, strange strikes, or anomalies in Jefferson's profile. If something seems off, get it appraised. Even one coin could represent a monumental opportunity. Remember, this isn't just about money. It's about taking control of your future. It's about turning everyday objects into life-changing assets. It's about discovering value where no one else is looking. And the most important part: acting before it's too late. Every day, coins vanish. Every day, potential fortunes slip through hands that didn't recognize them. Don't let that happen to you. So, take a deep breath, check your coins, and imagine the possibilities. That one nickel could be the key to financial freedom, to security, to dreams becoming reality. And if you're curious about other rare coins that could change your life, well, there are more stories waiting. Stories of ordinary people discovering extraordinary fortune, just like you could. Don't wait. Your future could be hidden in your pocket right now. It starts with something so ordinary, it almost feels invisible. Meet Tom, an average retiree from Ohio. One Saturday afternoon, he was sorting through a box of old coins he had collected over the years. Nothing flashy, nothing that screamed fortune. But then, he noticed something strange about a nickel dated 2022. No mint mark. At first, he thought it was just a printing mistake, but the closer he looked, the more his heart started racing. He didn't just have a coin, he had a piece of numismatic history, potentially worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, what makes this coin so special? Why are collectors and investors practically drooling over a coin most people throw in jars or leave in drawers? It all comes down to a few critical factors: rarity, mint errors, and collector demand. The 2022 P mint mark Jefferson nickel is already special because of its design, but the no mint mark variety is the unicorn of this series. Typically, nickels minted in Philadelphia have a P mark, yet a few slipped through without it. That tiny detail, a missing letter, turns a coin from pocket change into a treasure chest. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Some examples of this coin aren't just worth a few $100s. Some have sold for over $400,000. Yes, $411,000, to be exact, in the current market. Now, I know what you're thinking: how can a nickel possibly be worth that much? The answer is all in the errors, the strike, and the condition. Coins that are perfectly struck, with no scratches or discoloration, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, attract the most serious buyers. Circulated coins might sell for a few $100s, still impressive, but a top-graded, flawless example. Life-changing money. This is the part that shocks collectors. The difference between a regular coin and a near-perfect specimen can be hundreds of thousands of dollars, but let's go back to Tom for a second. Imagine the moment he realized the coin in his hand could pay off his mortgage, set up a college fund, and leave a legacy for his grandchildren. His pulse was racing. He felt that mix of excitement and fear, the same feeling collectors get when they realize that their ordinary coin collection might hold an extraordinary gem. What most people don't know is that coins like this aren't easy to find. They were produced in limited numbers, and many went unnoticed in circulation. Some were even spent unknowingly, only to resurface years later at flea markets, thrift stores, or forgotten jars of change. Every coin that's discovered feels like a mini lottery win, and each one adds to the mystery and allure. Here's another shocking truth: the market for these rare nickels is insatiable. Serious collectors, numismatists, and even wealthy investors are willing to pay practically any price for the right example. And because these coins are so rare, the opportunity to cash in may never come again. The moment you hold one in your hand, you're holding a piece of American history, and a potential ticket to financial freedom. Let's talk specifics. To identify a 2022 P mint mark nickel without the mark, you need to look carefully. Examine the date, the obverse, and the subtle differences in the strike. Even slight errors, like misaligned letters, doubled images, or weak strikes, can multiply its value exponentially. And grading plays a massive role. A coin graded MS-70 is the holy grail. Slightly lower grades. Still valuable, but not the kind of money that will make headlines. Circulated examples might fetch $500 to $5,000 depending on condition. Near perfect uncirculated coins. $50,000 to $200,000. And the absolute top tier, museum quality specimens. That's where the $400,000 plus valuations come in. Remember, the market can fluctuate, but scarcity, demand, and historical significance always drive long-term value. Here's the kicker: this isn't just about money. It's about security, freedom, and the power of ownership. Owning a rare coin like this could protect your family from financial uncertainty. It could allow you to live life on your terms, invest in your passions, or pass a lasting legacy to the next generation. And it all starts with a simple habit: checking your coins. So, what should you do next? Take a moment today. Grab that jar of old coins. Look closely at every nickel, every penny, every dime. Examine the dates, the mint marks, the condition. Even if it seems ordinary, you could be holding something extraordinary. Don't let it slip through your fingers like Tom almost did. Because the truth is, opportunities like this don't come around often, and when they do, the difference between acting and waiting can be life-changing. Before we wrap up, ask yourself, how many times have you ignored old coins, thinking they were worthless? What if one of those coins could actually make your financial dreams a reality? Take it seriously. Take the time. This isn't just a hobby, it's a chance at freedom, wealth, and security, and if you think this story ends here, think again. There are more rare coins out there, some even more valuable, more mysterious, and more life-changing than this one. So keep watching, keep learning, and most importantly, start checking your coins now, before someone else discovers what could have been yours, because in the world of rare coins, time waits for no one, and neither does fortune.